Morning, Loz.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. How was your weekend?
Fantastic. How was yours?
Full on.
Full on? Bit busy or lots of setting up stuff?
Extreme.
What'd you get up to?
Well, do you want to do yours first?
If you want.
Probably better,
Okay.
because I've got so much to say.
Okay, as long as nothing that you talk about has to do with what you ate.
Oh, I don't know.
Because then we could probably cut it right down.
No, I don't think there's much to talk about in that area. There might be a little bit in food, but no.
Lovely. Well, I had a fairly, a nice weekend. Obviously, lots of Senate stuff happening around town. So on Saturday, I went down to casino.
Did you?
Yeah, well, Late Scratching were playing. I said
Good.
I was going to do it, so I did it.
How were they?
Yeah, really good. So it was really awesome seeing all of the cars and stuff like that as well, and the band, and it was just really good vibes, really great atmosphere. And then, of course, on Saturday there was a parade.
Did you watch the parade?
Only a little bit, not the whole thing.
Oh.
It was a bit hot. I was a bit hot and bothered on Saturday.
Were you?
Yeah, well, because I'd been out all day.
Right.
Like, I'd been at, like the band.
The band, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd been, out in the sun all day.
You wouldn't have had any drinks during the day, though.
No, it was just, it was warm.
Just warm day.
It was
very dusty,
Well, it
wasn't
was 35 degrees.
A lot of wind.
And so after being out and about all day on Saturday, I watched a little bit of the parade.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. And I'd already seen a lot of the cars over the last couple of days.
Yeah,
anyways.
that's right. They've been around.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm a bit hot and bothered.
Okay.
So that was a Saturday. Also, backtracking a little bit, on Friday I swung past the Reptile Centre because Rex the Reptile Man has released a book. He's co-authored a book with two other people, and I really wanted a copy, so I swung past and grabbed one.
You got a copy of it?
Yep.
Did he sign it for you?
No, he wasn't there when I got
Oh.
it. They were doing a book launch on Saturday night. It was at 6 o'clock, and so between the parade and all the rest of it, I didn't get down there. But, yes.
Interesting time to do a book launch when there's 1,000 cars driving through town.
I know. So that was on Saturday. They had their book launch. So I knew I wasn't going to make it, which is why I swung past on the Friday and picked up a book early. Yep.
You have to go back and get it signed now.
I'm totally going to. I just wanted the book in my possession so that we could talk about it today.
So you can have a look at identifying snakes around the place?
Well, it's a field guide to reptiles and frogs of the Red Centre. And what I love about this, it's specific to the Red Centre.
Yeah.
Especially not being from here originally, you would not believe the amount of misinformation out there. Like, I still remember when I first got the job up here when I was, 19 and all of my family going, don't go swimming when you get there. Like, don't go in any bodies of water. And once I moved here, I realised they were picturing Darwin. I'm like, we don't have bodies of water with the crocs, mate. Like, that's what everyone was thinking.
Oh, we have a croc. It's at Rex's place.
Exactly. But down in Melbourne, when you say Alice Springs, Northern Territory, everyone's like picturing Darwin. It's like now, even when I go visit now, if I'm at like a function or something, people will be like, oh, I was up your way, not long ago. I was at the Darwin races. And I'm like, yep, I literally am closer to Adelaide than Darwin, guys.
Oh, everyone used to tell me, how things in Darwin when I first moved to Alice back in the old days.
Yeah,
They'd ring me up and say, oh, how's things in Darwin? It's like, but you're not far from Darwin. You can see the rock from your backyard.
Yeah.
And all that sort of thing.
A lot of people think that as well. Like, oh, you probably go to the rock all the time. It's like, dude, it's like 5-6 hours away. It's not close.
No, but then I've talked about this before. Every time someone comes to town, we have to go to the rock and take them.
I don't do that.
Oh, they all want you to take them.
They can go themselves.
No, you got to be doing the right thing. And then they expect you to pay half of it too.
No, I don't know who your friends are.
This was back in the day when I was here last time.
That is absolutely.
They would come and they'd expect me to
incorrect.
pay for half the accommodation because I'm staying there. It's like, well, I've been so many times I don't need to go again.
No, that's where you put them on one of the lovely tour guide buses here and send them on their way and say, I'll see you in a couple.
Yes, I did that to one person.
See you in a couple of days.
I must admit, I did do that to one friend. I did send her. She was happy to do that. She got on a bus and spent 3 days. Didn't have a shower for 3 days. Came back a bit smelly, but as you do.
Gotta love it. But yes, I'm really excited that the field guide to reptiles and frogs of the Red Centre is very specific to the Red Centre.
Well, you're going to read that book over the next probably 10 hours, and by tomorrow you're going to be an expert on it all, aren't you?
Probably not, because a lot of
because you just binge when you read.
I do binge read, but a lot of the things in this book are things that kind of creep me out a little bit. Like,
well,
I want to be aware of it all, but I also don't want to give myself nightmares. And I feel like if I read this too quickly, I'll think that I am seeing things everywhere. Like, I'll think, oh, is that out of the corner of my eye? I'll start to get a bit jumpy if I read the whole thing.
I have had some dreams I can count probably on my hand, maybe 5 times over the years with snakes in them, and they're very vivid dreams. Snakes mean a lot. When you're having snakes in your dreams, if you do dream analysis, you'll see that there's a lot of meaning when you have a snake in your dreams. So be very careful.
Now that we've spoken about this,
particularly the colour of the snake, even.
I'm going to have a nightmare of a snake in my dream now that we've spoken about it.
There was one I remember. I was in it was like a big corridor. It reminds me of, Crown Plaza here, which is now the Doubletree. I stayed at when it was Crown Plaza, right? And it had a big long corridor. And I was in this corridor and I jumped in front of a snake to let it bite me on the leg to stop my son getting bitten.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was a dream I had many years ago. So it was in that, because we stayed, when my son was 1, we stayed at Crown Plaza. We came to town just for one day and stayed there one day.
Yeah.
And, that for some reason I jumped in front of him. So apparently that has a lot of meaning in it, jumping in front of a snake to
I don't think there's anyone in my life I would jump in front of a snake.
Do you know what?
No, there probably is.
I probably would.
I'm just really petrified of snakes, to be honest.
Depends. Like, if I had a choice of not jumping in front and jumping in front, I probably wouldn't jump in front. But if it was the only option, to stop the snake biting somebody you loved, you probably would, wouldn't you?
The thing is, I actually feel guilty.
Would you do it for Mr. Loz?
No, he'd probably do it for me.
You don't know that.
No, because he's actually right into reptiles and stuff. He would just pick a snake up. Like, he's a born and bred Territonian. Right. If there was a snake, there'd be no...
Crazy. Do not do this, kids. No, do not do it at all. Anybody.
There'd be no, jump in front of a snake to protect him. He'd just be like, a snake, and he'd pick it up.
Look, there's lots of sayings, and we know it's all wrong to say this. The best snake is a dead snake, and all these sort of things.
God, no, I don't believe
can't do that anymore. But I tell you what, leave it alone.
Yeah, you just
leave
watch
the
it.
Thing alone.
You just watch it and call Rex. To be honest, I feel guilty over how much I don't like snakes because they've done nothing to me. I don't know why they creep me out so much. I've never.
Have you held one?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
But I've never been in a situation. I think it was only last year or the year before, was the first time in all the years I've lived here that I even had a snake, that I even saw a snake in the wild, like just in my backyard. Prior to then, I'd never had one altercation with a snake ever, but was still petrified of them. It's not their fault. They did nothing wrong.
It's funny you should mention that because I lived 20 months in Darwin and did not see, either in captivity or not, one croc in 20 months. I lived there for 20 months, never saw a croc out in the water, never went into the crocodilus or any of that, or the cove, never looked at any crocs, didn't want to pay the money to go and see a croc. Big deal, I'd seen crocs before. I really wasn't interested in it at all. I went to Kakadu, didn't see a croc there. So I'm telling you, I didn't see any crocs while I was up there, but then I come down to Alice and then I was there for the big birthday party for Rex's reptile centre. I saw a croc there. I saw Terry the croc there. I mean, how's that for you? I'm in Darwin for 20 months. I come down here and I see a croc. Not up there, I see the croc. But look, quick wrap down on my weekend. Friday night, I DJ'd at Gapview. That was the most fascinating experience I've ever had as a DJ, I think.
Okay.
Very, very interesting crowds, very passionate crowds. A big football night there too. They said it was a quiet night. I don't think I've had a quiet night that's quiet like that. That is a big night. They said, oh, no, they're a bit quiet because they're out watching the footy out the front.
Yeah.
Well, I had a dance floor pumping all night there of people enjoying themselves. So it was a big night at Gapview. That finished at 11. Went over to casino to DJ at Juicy Rump, so I had to set up and be ready for 12. Took over from our Dan the Man and all that and doing their thing. They do that every Friday night, the duo out the front, do a good job. So I was there till about 3 in the morning. Then I did the Red Centre Nats dirt drags, announcing out there. I was out there by 8:30 in the morning. And we were covered in dust. There was wind blowing everywhere. It was good, though, the flies. They were away because they couldn't handle the wind.
Yeah, of course.
On day 2. Yesterday, we were back there for more action and the flies were back because the wind wasn't there. But the wind, it was like little dust storms coming through the whole time. I had to just stand there with my Great Northern bucket hat on, covering they gave me safety glasses, which was good, so the dirt was all not getting in my eyes so much. But by the end of the day, I was covered in dirt. People were taking off their glasses and they had like panda eyes. It was quite funny. But I had a good time. We had about 60-odd cars out there, a couple of bikes on there. First time of the dirt drags. It's a lot of fun. Crowds were coming through the day. Great crowds coming through. Then I went to, I was out the front of Dust Bowl getting some food. I had some Indian food. I won't go into the food. But I waited about 45 minutes to an hour for my food.
Yep.
And I watched the parade go up and down in that time. So it was a perfect spot to watch it while I was getting my Indian food.
Beautiful.
Then I went and DJ'd at Uncle's
Nice. How'd that go?
That was the first time they'd had a DJ there for a while on a Saturday night. It was quiet-ish, but big crowd outside, big crowd inside, but quite like people weren't expecting it.
Yeah, of course.
But got the sound system working there. They had, they got a classic sound system. I had to click it all together, find wires. It took me 45 minutes.
You'd think it'd be done because they do karaoke on Fridays.
No, well, that's the thing. They pack it all up and put it in a cupboard and then bring it out again.
Right.
So the guy on Friday night would have packed it up and put it away, and then I had to pull it out again and find all the wires for it because there was nothing there. And I found it all, got it all working, and had a good time. Played some old classic songs, classic R&B and things like that. I'll be there again this week, hopefully, if they have me back. And, that finished about 12, and then I finally went home, had a bit of a rest, and then back to the Dirt Drags yesterday. And then last night I went, finally relaxed at the end of the day on the deck at Doubletree. Sat out there and had a platter with a friend and ate some food, had a cocktail, felt just what I needed.
Relaxed to finish off the weekend.
I did a little walk up to seeing the presentations for
the podium party.
I was a bit over it by that time, so I watched for about 10 minutes and they handed out awards and they were cheering and carrying on. I said to a lady there, I said, how long's because she was one of the organisers, I said, how long do you think it'll be before the band comes on? She said, it'll be a while yet, lots more awards. So I went home, and I don't live far from that venue, so I could sort of hear something across the river, bouncing across the river to me. So, but that was my weekend, huge weekend. I don't think it gets much bigger than that, really. I think the Henley on Todd weekend was a similar big weekend. And I've woken up this morning, dust still in me, getting it out, and I've made it through, and it's great that we don't have all the stuff we normally have today, so it's a little bit quieter. So we've been able to have a bit of a longer chat now, but we're going to have our part 2 coming out very soon.
Yes, we are.
And you have to find it where?
On our YouTube page, listen to Sun 969.
Let's go to the news.